Alrighty, so this message is not going to be for everyone. Please keep that in mind. Like, I tap into a certain collective and it's for some people, right? It's not going to be for everybody. But this has been coming in strongly and it's for the masculine collective. Again, not everybody, but it does feel like a large masculine collective is in this and like what's currently happening in the masculine collective again for like I want to say majority of them. So if you're a feminine, obviously this is something that you might be tapping into as well, or you're hearing about, or that you're feeling, or you just want to know, right? But yeah, for the masculines watching, again, you'll know. You'll know if this is for you. Um based on what comes through and if you resonate with it, right? um so like I said, I've been tapping into this and it's really interesting because like the masculines that are in my life, there's a theme. There's a theme. And then I was like, okay, this is bizarre because none of these masculines are connected. Like they don't know each other. So then I was like starting to tap into it. And I'm like, oh my lord. You guys are going through a death and rebirth. And I feel like I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. I don't remember which one, but I mean, they all kind of had a theme of that. But anyway, yeah, if you resonate with this, you are going through a death and rebirth cycle. For some, it's more intense, and for others, it's kind of light. But I do think and feel like it will get intense for you. Only because it's like, guys, it's time. It's time. And it's crazy that this is happening for so many men right now. And again, I do think it's because there's a lot more feminines rising, stepping up. I've said this before, feminines are leading the way in this, and that's not a bad thing because the changes that are happening with you men, this is all for the positive. And so you can come and join us for the women that are healed, right? Anyway, um so it feels like there's quite a few of you men that are in hermit mode, in solitude. And again, I'm going to be speaking to a few things. So you might have just moved out of the hermit mode, or you're still in there, or you're about to go in. Okay. It really depends on your journey. But yeah, there's been this like solitude, this disconnecting from a lot of things, a lot of distractions, a lot of just pulling back your energy. Like for some of you, yeah, you still might be connecting with other people and like still seeing your friends or family, but I just feel like there's been a huge pullback because you have been reassessing yourself and your patterns. And oh my god, this is, yeah, this is really interesting. It's like, to be honest, this has been happening for everybody this past year. And I did make a message, I think, I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, about like for those of you that have been resisting your, like your shed, like the major changes in your life, like get ready because no one is leaving like the old cycle without really looking within and transmuting, right? So yeah, it's been a huge shed for a lot of people, and like it's, yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, there's been a pullback, and the pullback is because you men are just like reflecting on everything that wasn't serving you in the past. And that goes for actually a lot of things, right? Not just romantic relationships, but also just career, the relationships that you've had, like friendships that you've had or still have. And even like what you're doing in your own life. Oh my God, there's been such a like huge reassessment of like how you have been living. Like, is it like it? Basically, the question was like, is it actually benefiting me? Because it feels like it's not. And so a lot of you are having this like wake up call. And it does feel like for a lot of you, it's kind of, it was like fated. It was like destiny. It was like your spiritual team was like, how long are you going to keep doing the same things over and over and over and over and over again? Like, you did have the help of that team to wake you up, shake you up, and make you start thinking and asking yourself questions about like whatever patterns, whatever habits that you have been doing, whatever relationships you had in the past, both romantic and platonic, like how have they really helped you? You know, and like why does it always seem like it's all the same kind of themes, right? And so that's why there's been this like pullback and hermit mode so that you can introspect of like, what am I doing? Is this really the life I want to be living for the next 20, 40, whatever years for the rest of my life? Do I really want to be living this way? Am I actually fulfilled? Am I actually happy in the job that I have, in the relationships that I have, or the relationship that I used to have? Like, am I really happy with this? Like, what is it that I want? What is it that my soul craves? And so you've been asking yourself these deep, deep questions and pulling back layers of like, okay, like, what is it that like, finally, there's so many of you that are taking responsibility for your actions and the life that you have been living because you're realizing that you're part of that creation. Yes, I know that you've probably been also looking at childhood trauma. And I know before you might have been thinking, like, but that's not my fault of who my parents were and what they did to me and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, you were playing in victim mentality before, but a lot of you are just realizing that that victim mentality is keeping you trapped in the same patterns, same addictive habits that wasn't making your life feel fulfilled. And a lot of you are just like, I'm done with playing in that same sandbox. And so this is beautiful. This is so beautiful that a lot of you are starting now to take responsibility for your life and realizing that, okay, sure, you might have not had the like conscious decision in choosing your parents, though I feel like that does happen on a spiritual level. So, and I know how that sounds. A past version of myself would have been like, are you kidding me? I would have never been. But I'm just like, whatever now. I get why that happened. So a lot of you are also doing that where you're realizing like, wait a minute, instead of making myself the victim and oh woe's me and look at all the hardships that I've had and blah blah blah, and like a lot of the things that you didn't want to take responsibility for, you're now kind of take responsibility of it because you're just realizing like, okay, well, I need to like kind of take the reins in a way of everything in the past so that I can now steer my life of where you really want it to go. So you're like, that's what I mean. You're just taking responsibility of it. You're taking responsibility of your healing. You're realizing that nothing outside of you, nothing outside, yeah, of yourself can fix your life, can fix all the things. You're just realizing, like, okay, no one is going to do that for me. Not even my romantic relationships that you have or had. Like, even though that little boy in you was trying to get that from all these different things, it was never out there. And so, yeah, you're just coming into that awareness. A lot of you are healing that, which is truly a beautiful, beautiful thing, because this is how you free yourselves from those illusions, from that kind of victim mentality. And you're just like, okay, well, this is the lessons, the experiences that I've had. I feel like you guys are just starting to understand why you experienced what you experienced. And you're also deconstructing the old masculine template that was given to you. So I do feel like a lot of you, obviously, you watched your parents, you watched your father, you were learning obviously things from your parents in society of like how, you should be as a man, both in just your life and in romantic relationships. And so you learned a lot of that distortions and illusions, and you're realizing that none of that is true. Like, I feel like a lot of you went on that journey of trying this and trying that and trying all these different things to see. Yeah, I just got the word, even like red pill. Like, some of you went that direction of going into that red pill world. You might have played in that a little bit, but I feel like now you're realizing that's not it. That's not it. You might have used all those tactics. You might have, believed all those concepts, and you might have tried them out, but it's like now you're getting a huge wake up call of like, wait a minute, this doesn't fit, this doesn't fit, da, 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 da. Like, none of this actually fits. And so, like, again, because this is like a collective, like, some of you are going through that process currently and you're waking up to that, and then it is a process, right, of unpacking that, of unlayering that, of being like, wow, like, I went on this journey and I, tried this and da 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 da, and none of this worked, and it's like, now what? Interesting. 'Cause I did make a message. No wonder I was getting pulled into so many different directions when I was tapping into the masculine consciousness. This was like I don't know, a few weeks ago as well. The energy was so strong, and it just felt like I was being pulled into so many different directions. And I do feel like some of you already went through that and you were like, wait, this didn't work, that didn't work. And you were like getting pulled into so many different directions. But now it's like, I need to clear all of that and get centered and grounded. And it's like you guys are now looking for that fundamental truth, right? That fundamental truth where it's going to steer you into like happiness and fulfillment and basically the true template of what a masculine is. And so some of you are actually now finding that information. Yeah, like, some of you are finding that, some of you will be finding that, and you're seeking out different sort of information to now help course correct you into the life that you actually want to be experiencing, which is a life of fulfillment, a life of abundance, a life of where you truly feel fulfilled in every single area of your life. Yeah, it's been this, like, it's just a course correction now. And I mean, this has been happening to the feminine as well. I know for the feminines, at least for some of them, I know the ones that are really connected with me, we did that work. And we're getting to a point of like, we just feel ready, we just feel ready. Interesting. Yeah, that's connecting to that dragon and phoenix story where it's like us feminines are like flying in the sky and we're like, okay, which phoenix is gonna like finally um completely transmute and rise with us. But again, not for all feminines, right? Some feminines are also doing this work as well. But again, like I said, I'm gonna just concentrate on the masculine because it was like a big thing. Um, and for those of you that were never spiritual, it does feel like you're starting to seek that spiritual connection. So for some of you, it's like you might have not even been ever like, I don't know, I don't want to really use the word religious, but like you never really believed in anything or had any practices. Maybe it was woo woo to you. And now you're starting to seek something like outside of yourself to connect to, like that higher consciousness, that spiritual type of connection, right? So it's like you're learning to surrender that control that you used to have on your life where everything was rigid, everything was like sharp corners, right? And it had to fit in a certain way, and you're softening now. So a lot of you are softening, you're surrendering, and yes, it's a scary process, trust me, I know. um but you're surrendering into that. And yeah, it might be a little bit of a back and forth thing about like you surrender a bit and then you get scared and you might want to control again, but you guys are going through that process, and again, it's uncomfortable. It's literally a snake shedding its skin. It's not easy, but you're looking for that, you're seeking for that, you're looking for alternate ways of connecting with this like unseen, this like, I guess you could even say your higher selves. And so I do feel like a lot of you are starting to dabble into like meditation, maybe breath work, grounding, like things like that. You're softening into that. You're getting like your starter kick. I know that some of you are maybe like further into that, right? Again, it really depends on where you are in this collective. But yeah, you're learning to soften. Even like inner child work, which I did make a video about that recently. So a lot of you, yeah, even like connecting with that inner child of yours that went through so many traumatic things, and you're learning to connect with him, and you're learning to speak with him, and you're learning to give him what he needs in order to feel safe and loved and protected and seen and heard. So you guys are doing a lot of work on that. Like again, it's just like shedding layer after layer after layer. And yeah, and also just reconnecting. Wow. Sorry guys, my ears the whole day are just nonstop ringing. Ring like nonstop. Especially my left one. Which I mean that's connected to the feminine side. Anyway, sorry. Sorry. Um, so a lot of you are also just reconnecting with your hearts, which that's a skin. Wow, you like for those of you that are doing this work, like good on you. Good on you. I know how much bravery you need in order to go into the depths of yourself because it is scary, and I get for even men it's probably even scary. But yeah, some of you are reconnecting back with your heart again, which is you could also call that like your inner child, but you're tapping into more of that feminine side of yourself, that feminine polarity. Not because you want to be a feminine expression, but the thing is you can't be fully in your masculine if you don't honor that feminine side of you, right? It's the same for women. It just we kind of started out more on the opposite end of the spectrum of being too much in our masculine and our wounded masculine, where we had to go back into our feminine, right? And then that's how we balance those polarities. But men were kind of always in their masculine, wounded masculine, where it's like you guys also have to be tapping into the feminine side of you to really understand what it is to be an embodied, healed, healthy masculine. So yeah, you guys are doing a lot of work on that. I feel like for a lot of you, you're also looking at past wounds, past heartbreaks in your relationships, maybe even what you experienced with your mom and dad. You're healing basically your hearts. And yes, it can be a slow and meticulous process, but again, keep doing that. It's literally what a big collective of males are going through right now. And I think that's a beautiful thing, truly. And another layer in this, it's like you're also getting clear of what you want to create into this world. I feel like a lot of you have realized, like, wait, what I'm actually doing in my career or whatever, it's not something that fulfills me. I just did it to make mom and dad happy, or um to be seen a certain way or whatever. Like, you did it for external validation. But when you start healing these layers, you start realizing, wait a minute, what I'm doing for my career is not actually who I am at my core and what I want to give into this world. And see, when you start connecting with your heart and more of your feminine side and connecting to a higher power, which is ultimately reactivating any kind of intuitive, insights or downloads, you're just realizing, like, wait, I really like to do whatever. And so a lot of you are now starting to be like, okay, well, how can I shift from what I was doing, what I was building, into that? Because that other thing, what you're meant to create, is going to give you a lot more happiness than whatever you were doing there. So a lot of you are just, either you've already made the shift and you're starting to build this other thing, or some of you are just wondering, okay, well, if I step away from this, how is it going to look like? And you're just starting to kind of process how to start making that shift so that you can actually be on this, like, path of what you truly, truly love to do, regardless of what anybody says, right? Um, and the other kind of thread here is a lot of you are also just preparing to come into union with a part, like, I feel like you are starting to realize what it means to be in a healthy relationship. um you're wanting that, you're starting to want that, you're starting to crave that, you're starting to envision how this looks like for you. And you're just realizing, like, okay, this next person that I meet, like this, whoever I actually want by my side, like, how do I want to show up in that relationship? Like, how do I want it to look like? And this is why you're healing a lot of different layers, so that when you come into contact with this woman or person or whatever, you can show up differently than before. Um, and yeah, you're starting to visualize that. I feel like, yeah, you're just doing the inner process so that when you do come across somebody, and let's say it's like a match or a click or whatever, that you can start coming into that. Obviously, will there be layers to heal when you're in convergence with someone else? Yes, of course. Again, our greatest work is always in relationship. But you're preparing yourselves for that. You're realizing, and I feel like, especially for those of you men who've always avoided that emotional side of you, who've always been afraid of intimacy, of vulnerability, more perhaps of an avoidant, because this is how you learned to be safe. A lot of you are just realizing, like, this isn't working, this isn't what I truly want, that I am deeply feeling man, and I want to be able to express that and feel safe with that. So a lot of you are just, again, healing those layers, peeling those layers away, and realizing, and it's like you're starting to visualize how that kind of relationship is going to look like. And perhaps you're even searching for different sorts of information from other healed men of how that actually looks like. And so yeah, it's interesting. I do feel like a lot of you are doing this work. Again, not everyone's going to be on the same stage, but this is what's currently happening, which is why I have said before, men and women, is that women are leading the way in this because there are quite a few women that are already ready. Like, we've already done that work. And again, this isn't to say that we're better than you. No, it just it's just women are usually more intuitive, and we will surrender more easily to the healing work. So this is why a lot of us are already prepared. We're already on that other side, kind of waiting for you and wanting you to rise up and catch up, right? And again, this isn't like a us like women against men, or no, it's just like that's usually how it works, and that's fine. Again, not every woman is going to be in that category, just like not every man is waking up currently, right? In what I described. Do I believe that it's going to happen? Absolutely. I believe we're all going to get there, right? Some of us are kind of like, in a way, the way showers and have already done that and are just kind of waiting on people, which I know sucks for those of you that have like I it's like, all right, how much longer? Like, can you guys join us? Again, it's not an ego thing. It's more just like we want everyone there, you know. Um yeah, a lot of you are also just healing your mother and your father wounds. Again, that's connected to to inner child healing. Yeah, a lot of you are going through a shed, and I just keep visualizing the snake and the skin just coming off very slowly, and it's like, yeah, it's painful, but bravo for those of you that are doing it, that are feeling it, that are feeling the pain, feeling the discomfort, choosing better things, choosing healthier options, also removing any toxic people out of your life because you are shifting and changing. You're just realizing, like, I don't need to be loyal to maybe these group of men or friends or whatever if they're not choosing the same. And I think you guys are just starting to realize that. And it is work. I get it. I get it. Trust me. I've gone through the same, like, women go through the same thing. It's just we have our own different conditionings that we have to shed and release. um I was gonna get into a story, but I think we're gonna save that for another video because a movie inspired me, and it's literally basically this whole thing. And yeah, I wanted to get into that, so I'll get into that in a separate message. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Truly, you're ending a cycle now. For those of you that are doing the work and showing up and healing, you're ending a long cycle and you are coming into a brand new one. Truly, that is happening for you. Anyway, sending you lots of love on this journey, and please let me know how this resonated with you. And I'll see you on the next one.